Hey guys, this is Paul of Emerald Enclosures here, giving you a little bit of a sneak peek at some of the items that I'm going to be selling very soon. And if you watch my Instagram, you know which ones I'm probably talking about. I'm probably going to be making 2 of them today, as I have the supplies to do it, so I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek in a second. Okay, so what I have here are 2 different, one of them albeit slightly droopy, 2 different species of arrowhead plant. Now, arrowhead plants can be water plants, which is why I'm going to be using them. Because the project that I will be working on today will be making aquarium vases, which are, as anyone who's watched my Instagram knows, are vases that I'm making with mini ecosystems inside of the bottoms. So for those and I'll be using one of the 2 that I found up here. Probably this one because it's clearer. But along with the arrowheads, I'm probably going to be trying to mix up the foliage a little bit, which is why I got my aquaponics set up here, growing all sorts of different plants. We have normal pothos, we had variegated pothos, wandering Jew. We have a little bit of ivy down here at the bottom. We have a peace lily down here. And then we have a philodendron over here. And all these plants can grow with their roots completely submerged in water. That's to an extent the entire plant, and most of the time it'll just end up rotting after a while. But I've been growing all these extra clippings with my aquaponics setup. There's only one little fish in there right now, but I need to get more very soon. The other fish, because they came from Petco, they didn't last very long. It's really hit or miss with chain pet stores. This one seems to be doing pretty well, so just need to go back and get more whenever I get the chance. Anywho, well, I guess I'll go over this real quick. Pretty much, I feed the fish poops, the ammonia gets released into the water and it gets broken down eventually by microorganisms at the bottom of the tank. That pump there siphons up the water, covered it with black tape so algae wouldn't start growing inside the tubing. The water gets pushed into the grow bed underneath, which has clay pebbles there. And that's what the plants root into. And the water between the pebbles moves from one side to the other and falls back down through that pipe there into the tank. That way it filters itself with the aid of the plants up top. You could use this method for different types of creatures also that you wouldn't be able to normally keep with plants, like, well, that little one is a goldfish, but it's a very small goldfish. I'm guessing that it was probably a goldfish that didn't have a good start in life, and it's not going to get much bigger than it already is. But for my needs, it's fine as it is. I'll go try and get it some friends, though, soon. But any of the larger goldfish or the koi, their size really is dictated by the amount of care and food they had when they were young. If they didn't have enough, then they're probably never going to grow very big at all into adulthood. But for now, these are ready to be used at any time. And I just need to clean the dirt off of that. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to record myself doing that. So I'm going to get to it now. Okay, for supplies that I'm going to be working with, I got these 2 vases. I have aquarium gravel. Aquarium gravel is going to go on the bottom here. And I just give it snails a little bit more of a surface area to crawl around with, and also the roots can move down into the gravel to root if they choose to. Then I got the plants here. Took a while, but I was able to get all the dirt and synthetic fertilizer. No, hold on. I hope that's the last of it. I don't want to leave any synthetic fertilizer when I put these roots into the... I don't want to leave any synthetic fertilizer when I put the roots into the vase. I don't want it breaking down over time and poisoning the snails. So I got the plants, got the gravel, got the vases, and I have my year-old aquariums. You see a shrimp back there. Year-old aquariums with a heaping helping of snails. You can see one right, oh, you see two of them right there. One in the back. Those are babies. And a whole bunch of Java moss, which is the other thing that I'm going to need for this project. Alright, so I put about an inch worth of gravel into both of these vases. It's just something to give the plants to root if they really feel like they need to, which most plants prefer to be rooted in some sort of substrate. It also gives the snails a little bit more of a comfort feel whenever they're moving around inside, along with it being able to absorb beneficial bacteria, helping to keep the ecosystem thriving. I'm not sure what's going on with my pump. It could have made things a lot easier if I could use it to siphon out some water. So I'm just using this container here. So I'll be taking a couple of cup loads of the water from this very matured aquarium that I keep shrimp, snails, and a couple of Autosynclius catfish in. But this water has everything a plant needs to thrive. Just judging from that, I'm probably not even going to need that much more. This water will clean up. Just got to wait for the debris to fall back to the bottom. Okay, so now the vase has plenty of aquarium water in it. Maybe a little bit too much. I may end up putting some back. I'm just trying to layer the gravel. And surely it has also picked up some microorganisms. And some less than microorganisms, like cyclopses, planaria. They'll help to break down any dead and decaying plant matter that may be inside the vase. That looks pretty good. And I already layered the other one. The water may look dirty, but it actually is just full of nutrients. There's a little bit of root. I'll just throw that out. Probably came off from a frog bit. Troublesome boy. Now I need to see how I could skillfully hang those, because unlike the spathiphyllum I made for our friend, the bottoms of these plants that I have here are not as wide as the head of the vase, so I'm going to get creative. I have a couple of ideas I'm going to try. I just added some Java moss to the vases. It'll help soak up any extra nitrates that may be lying around, along with giving the snails something to eat. Pretty sure I grabbed some snails also when I was grabbing the Java moss. I think I might see one right over there on the bottom. Yeah, that's one. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to collect some more. Probably going to just keep three snails inside each of these for now. The snails, these are ram's horn snails that I'm going to be using. The snails create waste, which the plant will use to grow. It's not going to create a lot of waste, which is good because I don't want the plants to outgrow their little vases. I'm probably actually going to be cutting down some of their roots so that they stay smaller. But they're going to be in such good growing conditions that they're going to explode out of the vase if I don't control them every now and then with a little bit of pruning and root reduction. So I added 3 snails per container. You can see them right there. They're a red variant ram's horn snail, typically seen by most aquarium keepers as pests, but I'm going to use them to my advantage, which is good because I have a million of these things just lying about eating everything. So this is going to be good in the sense that I can put the ram's horn snails to work just eating and living how I want them to. Hopefully they won't breed out of control, as I'm probably not going to be feeding them any extra once I set them up in these little containers, because they'll be keeping the sides of the tank, well, not the vase, clean by eating the algae, along with keeping the plants under control. So they'll be able to accumulate all the food they need just by being in their environments. And by the way, that is a semi-adult ram's horn snail. They get bigger than the little ones that I put into the tanks. Not too much bigger, but they also get brighter, which is pretty nice. Attempt number 1. As you can see, it's not entirely the most pleasant thing I've ever created. Maybe I'll try and do something with sticks. I don't know, but for the moment it's holding, and I'm just going to fill it up with a little bit of extra water. But you get the general idea. The roots hang down in the water, snails eat the gunk, and their feces fertilizes the plant. I'm actually going to cut down these roots a little bit. Smaller roots, smaller plant. Alright, so I just finished them up. This one has the slightly pink arrowhead plant, and this one has the, primarily green arrow plant. This one had longer roots, so I ran them through the bottom. Actually, I'm wondering, were these things the same size, or is it just the light playing a trick? I don't know, I thought they were the same size. Anywho, so instead of going with tie wraps, like I think I recorded, I just tie wrapped them and then I put 4 strands going that way to hold up the weight of the plant. I grabbed some of my hydroponic growing cups. I'm really not sure what they're called. Anywho, they have spaces in them and allow the roots to pass down. So I cut some holes in the bottom of them so these longer roots were able to pass through to the bottom of the tank. Then I filled the top with clay pebbles, and after I put the plant in so that it'd be nice and snug so it won't move anywhere. The bottom has Eco-Complete gravel, and the middle has Java moss. The Java moss will help aid in breaking down absorbing any of the nitrates that's created by the beneficial bacteria that's in the water, that because I took it from a mature tank, there's going to be plenty of it in there. Also, the Eco-Complete had a little bit. There are 4 snails in this tank and 3 snails in this one, because this one is slightly smaller than this one. And the roots are going to hang down, and they'll probably end up passing through into the gravel layer, just because that's how roots are, and they're going to expand until they can't. So occasionally, the roots would have to just be trimmed a little bit. But mostly, this is a completely self-sustaining ecosystem, and the only thing that you would have to ever end up adding is a little bit of water every now and then to the top. The water is not going to really disappear from the evaporation as much as the water is going to be disappearing from the plants absorbing the water to grow. And as for plants, you can only grow specific plants like this. Let's see, the arrowheads. I have some wandering Jew here also that I was playing around with, but I don't have any good cuts right now, so I'm going to hold off on that. Then pothos, philodendrons, common garden ivy, European ivy. All of them are choices when you're trying to set up a setup like this. I'm going to try and mix and match for my future projects. Aluminum plants also, I think, were some of the choices, but I do not own any of them, and certain types of Dracania. But their roots could sit in the water, or bamboo, I almost forgot about that one, for the most part. And peace lilies, which is the one that I made for my friend Kayla, which was my first one. Well, not really my first one. The beta one was technically one of the first ones, and then there was a little shrimp one I have downstairs. But the littlest one that I made just for the shrimp doesn't really have any plants hanging out the top like this. But because there's going to be such a small bioload from the fact that the only creatures that are going to be in here are going to be snails, I'll probably never have to water change this at all. As I said, only having to add a little bit more every now and then. And I can add new plants whenever I want. I eventually plan on selling these. I mean, they're pretty compact and they're easy to move around. I haven't decided on the price yet. It's definitely going to at least be $20. Hold on. Sorry about that. I heard yelling and I thought the dogs escaped or something, so I went and checked that out real quick. They were just messing around downstairs. But anywho, I'll push that down a little bit more. That's basically it for now. I do like the one that I made for my friend Caleb more than these, just because I didn't need to add any extra pots like this in the middle, just so that it'll support the weight, as her spathiphyllum plant that she got was big enough that it could just sit in there. But these came out nice nonetheless. But next time that I do this, I'm going to try and find plants that will fit just right inside the lip of the pot. I'm also going to look for pots that I can buy in bulk with thinner lips. Anywho, please stay tuned for when I begin pricing and selling these. I mean, honestly, if anyone wants these, they could buy them. I would definitely be willing to sell. I don't need a million pots hanging around, and I'd rather someone else appreciate them, as I have plenty of things just lying around in my house. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You guys have a great day.